Welcome to another episode of Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson. I am your host and leadership mentor, Tywauna Wilson. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm so glad you landed on this podcast. What I do is every week I bring you practical leadership strategies that you can use in both your personal life, in your business, and in your career. But I don't do it alone. I bring some awesome mentors from all over the world to be able to share with you because I think it's important to get mentorship and to get mentorship from people that are doing the same thing that you are and those that are doing something different. That's where greatness starts to take place. And so I'm happy you landed on this podcast. I'm happy that you're here. Do me a favor, share it out. Yeah, share it out because somebody in your network can benefit from hearing the strategies that will be covered today. I have another amazing mentor today. But before I bring our mentor to the stage, let me know where you're coming in from. So make sure you drop it in the chat so that we can welcome you in properly. Those of you who are medical laboratory professionals or friends of the laboratory, a new Elaborate Topics podcast released today. So you can check it out on directimpactbroadcasting.com or your favorite podcasting platform. Today's episode was around mentorship and the mentor-mentee relationship. So make sure you check it out. Co-host Stephanie Whitehead interviewed Caroline Henderson. So it was a very good interview. So make sure you check that out and share it with a friend. And for those of you that may know or may not know that earlier this year, I released another book. I actually published this book led by one of my mentors, and I know that you can't see it that great here, but it's called Rise Up, the Blueprint for Manager Success. If you are a new manager or one that desires to be a manager, then that book, that resource tool is for you. It is the only playbook that you'll need for those who want to be managers or better managers. So you can get your copy of the book at shop.standoutleaderacademy. Leader Academy. So without further ado, I am going to bring on our mentor for this session. So good evening, Trishana. How are you?
I am great, Coach T. Wilson. Thank you.
Good, Trishana. I'm excited to have you on and sharing with our audience. So this is exciting. As I ask all of our mentors, where are you coming in from? Uh, where are you at? Where are you located? And there could be a little bit of delay. I'm not able to hear you yet. But Trishana is coming in live, and while we work on her audio so that you don't miss all of the good tidbits that she has, I'm going to read a little bit about her, read her bio. So Trishana is an international career coach who helps professional women in laboratory sciences transition to new roles within their current jobs or elsewhere without retraining. She spent the last 10 years partnering with organizations in both laboratory medicine and public administration in Cayman Islands and Jamaica to empower professionals by helping them to make data-based career decisions in consulting and mentorship. She teaches a simple, proven process to help individuals job search strategically, secure, and confidently negotiate a higher paying salary. Now, I know that is good stuff that people want to hear. So, Trishana, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes.
So I said in your bio that you've done work in Cayman Islands and Jamaica, but let the people know where you are at today.
So yes, I was born in Jamaica and now I live in the Cayman Islands, and that's in the Caribbean. We are currently one of the British overseas territory.
Awesome. And so I know you have some good stuff for us, so I'm going to let you take it away.
Awesome. So today I am going to talk about 3 crucial steps in successfully transition into a new role. There has been so much changes happening right now. The Roe versus Wade that has been overturned. Let's not forget COVID, which caused a significant drastic change to our lives. Personally, it caused me to reassess my priorities, my own values. And I know for you personally, you are undergoing some sort of changes at work, whether working longer hours or even being overlooked for a job promotion that might propel you to consider your options. All these things that have been happening cause you to be confused and lost, and you're unsure where to take the next step. Now, this period of uncertainty and confusion is called identity crisis. It causes you to question why you even pursue a career in laboratory medicine. Will you stay in your current role forever? Will you have to take a stagnant pay forever? Is there hope for more flexible schedule, more autonomy and freedom in your role? These are questions that you ask yourself daily. It might cause you to remain on standstill, fear with uncertainties of the future, the new changes in governance, public administration, and even the laws that also influence your work. Now, what do you do when you find yourself in this current dilemma where you quite feel that you have outgrown the current role and now you're looking to do something more? You want to make more impact, and of course, you want to make more money. Is it possible with your current qualifications? So I know there has been a lot of emphasis on qualification, that you need the right degree, the training, the accreditation to ensure that you are competent and can actually carry out the duties of the role. However, most people tend to miss out on the most potent thing, that is you. You are the crucial element of your career. Though I am a big advocate for academics and getting the right qualification, I also believe that self is important to preserve the well-being and integrity of your career. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 crucial steps that you need to have for a successful transition within your current job or elsewhere. We are going to look at self-care, self-trust, and speed. Now, I know some of you are like, self-care. While many beauty gurus and dermatologists talk about self-care as activities that we physically take care of ourselves, to go and have a spa day, read a book, or take a walk. And yes, those things are important. It's also crucial that you have self-care in your career. So how does that look like? Self-care is prioritizing of self. How do you honor self in your career? It's hard not for you to put others' expectation to make the boss happy, to make sure that you're doing everything that you have been told. But if you're still left with feeling depleted and burnt out, it is time for you to actually reassess your priorities. So self-care is actually the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's well-being and dignity in your career. It is about self. What does this look like? It's so different from what we are being taught. We are being told by trying to meet others' person's expectation. And you can often forget yourself in the process. So what does self stand for? Self, the S stands for satisfying, both intentionally and purposefully. E is empowering, taking your power back and own your career. L is for lasting, build a lifelong and meaningful career path through the days, months, or years. F means fulfilling. It is brings what you desire to completion or reality. How do you stay true to yourself while honor other expectations in your workplace? Yes, there are procedures and policies in the workplace that tells you how to be more effective. But there isn't any guideline or a step-by-step formula to tell you how you can preserve yourself. Now, it might seem selfish if you want to take more time off. You don't know how to say no to your boss for fear of missing out of opportunities. Yet, you're saying yes to all these things, but you're still stuck in the same position. It hasn't made much changes to your salary or to your career. It simply means that you need to reprioritize your career goals so you can honor self. Honoring self is not selfish. It's actually realizing that you need to take care of yourself to go the long haul. It is a marathon. And so you have to ensure that you are showing up at your fullest capacity. If you are taking on too much things that causes you to be frustrated or even resentful, it might even affect your performance and productivity. So yes, you want to go after things that not only will boost your motivation, but allows you to be more productive in the laboratory. So once you clear on what are your priorities, let's identify 3 areas of your career that matter to you. If right now you value family time, what does that look like? What does that a day at work look like? Does it mean that you need to work 37.5 or less hours a week? Does it look like you need a role where you have a more flexible schedule or can have paid vacation days? No, I understand that you're saying yes, you have an idea in your head, but you actually need to write down these goals that you have in mind. And it might look different from someone else. So before you start job searching, once you clearly identify what matters to you, in this case, family time, you are going to look for companies that allow you to have a flexible schedule. It will also allow you to have time off. And it will save you needless frustration and time from applying to jobs that aren't good fit in the first place. So in the beginning, you can clearly communicate what are your intentions. Establish your deal breakers. What are those non-negotiables? So yes, if you value career development right now, it's important that you look for companies that are willing to highly invest in their employees. Look at Glassdoor and other websites to see employees' reviews. Use LinkedIn as a means to see more about the company. Reach out to HR, not only to know more about the role, but what does the company offer? What are the opportunities that you are looking for? Does this company will provide you with the opportunities and the training? Will they give you the recognition for the hard work? All those things you need to have in mind, and not also have in mind, it should write down as a plan ready to execute. So whenever you meet with a recruiter, you know exactly what type of role you would be a best fit. It's not the recruiter or HR responsibility to find the right role for you. Now, instead of focusing on awards, recognition, and accolades, it's also important to ask yourself, what are your core values? Your core values are what align with yourself. It allows you to stay true to yourself while showing up every day in the lab. Now, in the perfect world, yes, you will have all the time and the energy to invest into things that are the highest priority and spend time on the things that you don't enjoy. However, we don't live in the perfect world. We live in a world that is constantly changing. And so, yes, you have so many things that you want to do, but yet you have limited time and energy. That's why it's crucial you start with 3. Don't try to write a long list where you know it's impossible because it's only you. So you start with 3 that is simple, that you know you can commit with. So if career is important to you, you need to find a company that would provide training opportunities and will also give you the time off to have study leave and do additional training that will allow you to have an impactful career. So yes, you need to prioritize your time and energy to things that will bring you more satisfaction. One of the main reasons why you are frustrated is because you're spending time on things that are draining your energy. If you are saying yes, it's because you haven't found what right now is valuable to you. And so you really find every single day as a drag. It's hard to wake up and to show up to work when you don't want to be there. That's why it's crucial for you to establish your deal breakers. So while you go into a transition, yes, it is scary. It can be overwhelming because you're concerned about the pay, the work culture, whether or not you have the right qualifications. Keep in mind, you must also ask yourself, does this role will allow me to grow professionally, but also personally? Will it also provide opportunities for me to grow financially? So, though yes, they might say, we give you all the training, you want to know so that you're also being compensated. And so if you value to have finances, which you need money, if you have a family, in order to take care of their needs and also your needs as well. So yes, you must invest your time on doing things that matter to you. So once you have established your non-negotiables, it's crucial that you need the other step. This step is self-trust. It is the full confidence or firm reliance on yourself in making career decisions. In the beginning of my career, I was very indecisive. If I was needed an input on a career or a role or a particular employer, I would sought response from various persons. In the end, I eventually sabotaged my career. I trusted their input over mine. And it's also important that you stay true to yourself. Though, yes, other family members and friends can share some valuable information, you are the only one that will know what is best for you. According to research, 70% of persons are dissatisfied with their jobs. Many persons are hesitant to leave because they haven't gotten the green light or the go ahead. And it only will hold you back. Because if you have a spouse who is telling you, you need to stay in this job, even though you are dissatisfied, resentful, and they're telling you, you need to stay because the money is good, but you know deep down that you could be making a greater contribution elsewhere. It would hold you back because you are waiting for permission. And so you choose to stay on the sideline and to wait it out until better comes. In reality, better never comes because you're still in the same position, complaining about the same thing over and over and over again. It shows that you do not trust yourself or have a conviction in the expertise that you bring to the table. Self-trust will build confidence. Confidence comes from doing. It's not one day you decided that, oh, I am going to be confident. Trust me, you're going to experience fears, worries, concerns, and all those kind of emotions. However, you're better in tune with yourself and you're aware of these emotions, but you're still firm to move forward. When persons are indecisive, it also shows a lack of confidence in their skill set. If you want someone to take you seriously, you first have to take yourself seriously. It starts internally. So yes, you want the boss or your manager to recognize you and to pay you more money. But if you don't really have confidence in yourself and to speak up and to share your expertise, chances are you might be overlooked or taken for granted. And so you must understand that if you remain true to yourself, what are your core values? Who are you outside of your accomplishments? The reason why so many people are hesitant to leave a role that they sometimes say they're outgrown, it's simply because they haven't have confidence in their self. They haven't trust their self and they have put their identity, they tie their self-worth to that role. And so you know that it is time, but you feel that sense of loyalty to hang around because you rather appease your managers or your colleagues. And it's not selfish for putting yourself first. I know as women in general, we are naturally caretakers. And so we are always putting others ahead of us. We are always serving. And yes, serving is good, but you can't serve from an empty cup. And so if you're in a current position, a lab position, where you are not showing up and being productive, it is not benefiting you financially, emotionally, or professionally. And so it seems as if you put other person's expectation over yourself. And that's why we go back with the first step, which is self. Self in self-care. Because if you forget the main pillar, the crucial element, then you lose the whole essence. It's not about applying to random jobs just to get your foot in the door. If you understand the expertise that you have, you know it's important that you can preserve yourself so you know your limits, you know what you can do, and you know what environment, what resources that you need to function in your fullest capacity. There's no such thing as job stress. Job stress only occurs when the job requirements no longer meet the criteria of your job expertise, the skills, or the resources. So if there is an deficiency of one of those, then it will cause chaos. So yes, you might right now qualified in your role, but if you don't have the resources to be successful, where there is insufficient reagent or lab equipment, it might cause you burnt out because you find yourself doing a lot of manual tests, meaning that you are spending longer time in the lab and you aren't being compensated for the longer time, and you're filling up slots for persons who left. So now you're taking on two-person roles rather than one, though your contract might agree to this. You're doing things outside of your contract and you aren't given enough time to take off or to focus on the areas that you love to do. So yes, you're busy working, but you're taking on additional responsibilities that are outside of your expertise. So you're saying yes to these mundane things, which you rather not do, like maintenance, if in case you're looking to branch out in academia or medical research. And it can cause you only to be resentful and bitter. And so, yes, I'm all for vacation, but vacation and a day at the spa won't solve the serious problem that you have right now. And that's why you have to understand self and to know who are you outside of that role. If you have been doing this role all your life at this one company, you might think that nobody else out there will pay you. And so you only think that the only way you will be recognized is at this role, which you're only limited yourself. So that's why it goes back again with self-trust, is that reliance on yourself. It's like trusting myself as a source. It's not saying that you won't seek outside opinions, but it's so important that you go back to self, because self is where you know who you are, what are your priorities, what are your core values, and how does it align to the bigger picture. So yes, self-trust builds confidence, and it takes practice. Initially, when you're going to make a decision, like for example, seeking a mentor, it will be nerve-wracking. You might not want to ask for help. It might where you have been doing it by yourself all alone. But honestly, you haven't been getting the results that you desire. And so once you have learned to say, okay, I give myself the permission to ask for help. I give myself permission to invest in programs that will help me to see the results that I desired in my career. I am trusting myself by honoring my goals and career needs. If that means telling the boss no, or that coworker who keep asking you, can you spend this? Can we switch days? Can you spend? No. It doesn't mean that you're selfish. It means that you not only staying true to yourself, you're also honoring your career needs, where you're preserving your time into doing activities. You don't want to say yes to something that you end up complaining about because you're like deep down you don't want to do it, and you don't see how it will benefit you in the next 3 to 6 months. So at the very core, it is trusting yourself, meaning that you're looking internally and say, in order for me to remain at my fullest capacity, I need to honor my career needs. It's also preserving your integrity and your expertise. So the last pillar that we talk about is space. Willing to take up space. Especially for people of color, we are always being treated inferior. And so, yes, we are being in space that people don't look like us. And so we will sometimes question whether or not we belong there. And it might cause you to shrink or to hold back. And it doesn't serve you. So it simply means that you have confidence in your skills and that you are going to be loud. I'm not talking about, complaining about the problem over and over. I'm talking about where you have a solution to a company problem and you are going to be loud. Being in the right space, it will allows you to have collaboration. Though the laboratory role is all about independence, you're also part of a team. And so you need to be in the right space where people will talk about you in meetings, where people will share opportunities to you. They want to see you grow. They will understand that there are enough cakes for everyone. The thing is, I have been in roles where I was the one always working and showing up while others weren't held accountable. It can be demoralizing if you're the one who's always showing up. You need to be in a space, in a work environment where everybody is motivated to be impactful. They understand their unique contribution and that they are all working together as a team. No man is an island. So yes, though it's important that you can work independently, you need other cheerleaders. If you're the only person who knows about your expertise, it's going to die with you. If you're the only one who knows about the master degree you're working on, it's not benefiting anyone. Being in the right space, people will support you. They also would sponsor you and want to fund your college tuition fees. They want to see you grow. They want to see you win financially, emotionally, and physically. So yes, how do you know you're in the right space? Is when you most importantly have identified what are your priorities. So when you're searching for companies, you're looking to see how do they align with your values? Do they provide opportunities for you to grow? Do they have representation? Do they have leaders that look like you? Do they have transparency to show how they govern? All those things are very important. So before you say, I need a job, you need to start with what are those 3 areas that are important to you and start to put down a plan. Choosing the right space will heavily impact your career development. Working with like-minded individuals will foster you and expand your space of influence. It will allow you to leverage opportunities in your unique area of expertise. Preparation is your way to excel. Excellent. You can't wing it with your career. You must be willing to prepare because opportunities meet preparation. How do you prepare? Is one, prepare yourself, then position yourself to meet the right opportunities. And how do you start? Is saying no to roles and people that do not align with your career goals. I will say it again, it will save you time and needless frustration. You already wasting time right now where you are. by playing it safe. So it starts saying no. So you can make room to what's aligned with your priorities. So if you're looking to implement these 3 crucial steps right now, then you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Trishana Osbourne. I also have a free workbook that gives more depth into those 3 crucial steps that I discussed today: self-care, self-trust, and space. And it will allow you to implement so you can be happy with your career results. Yeah. So again, that's it.
That was awesome, Trishana. You actually had some great points, and several of which I wrote down. So I love those 3 pillars around self care, self trust, and space. The self care, establishing your deal breakers. Interestingly enough, I talked to a group of medical laboratory professionals or future scientists at one of our local universities. And that was one of the things that I mentioned in my talk with them. They are still in their training, getting ready to go to their clinicals. And I talked to them about identifying their deal breakers, which is exactly what you said. Thinking about those 3 areas that matter the most to them. So it could be advancement opportunities or flexibility with scheduling, if that's important. And then this self trust, I really, really love that. And the stat that you mentioned, 70% of people are dissatisfied with their job. And I believe that to be true, but yet they are not leaving their role for whatever reason. And so that whole self trust and self trust building confidence. And then you mentioned about the space and willing to take up space or be in the room. You have that confidence and willingness to speak up or be loud. And being in the right space allows you to have collaboration. And so I think those are awesome points. So, viewers or listening audience, if you have any leadership nuggets that you have gained from this talk or any questions, make sure you drop it in the chat so that we can recognize you and bring you into the discussion. Make sure that you tap into Trishana. She does a lot of talks and sprints on LinkedIn and Facebook. So she's always sharing information. Make sure you connect with her on LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is just your name?
Yes, Trishana Osbourne.
Okay. So make sure you check in and connect with her there. She does have a free workbook. So if you connect with her, you'll be able to get that. But one of the things that she mentioned that I think is pivotal is that your career it doesn't just happen. You just don't advance and have the career of your dreams or the career that you desire by just letting it happen, right? It's just like when you think about leadership or personal growth, you just don't learn and grow overnight. It just don't happen if you don't put in the work and the effort. And so I think that was important too that you mentioned. And so Trishana, what would you say would be you gave us several great nuggets, but what would you say to our viewers and listeners, uh, that one tidbit that they could walk away with today and apply right away? What would be that one thing you would charge them with so that they can take action? Because I know that people love content, they love information, but the difference maker is when you actually put action to the content and information that you are receiving. So, what would be your one thing that you would tell people to walk away and start taking action with?
So I would say willing to claim your expertise. So that will start with establish your non-negotiables, your deal breakers, like write them down. So before you start job searching, you already have an idea what you're looking for. And so you won't second just for any job. our salary. And yeah, that's what I would say, willing. Because once you're willing to claim your expertise, it means that you have that conviction. You know what you bring to the table. So you're not asking for someone to just pay you anything. It's like you said, I know what value that I bring in the area that need my knowledge. And so if I'm saying yes to any salary, it means that I'll be compromising my integrity and the work and the degrees and the experience that I've put in to be where I'm at today. And so, yes, you can't just say yes to anything, because you have to preserve your expertise and you as an whole, because you're a brand. And so you're representing yourself, and it's more than just having your resume and saying anything in the interview. So you know exactly how to articulate your value on the resume and how to advocate and to identify the right signs in the interview to know if this is the place for you. So yeah.
That was amazing. That was awesome, awesome, awesome. So I love that. So, people take action right away, understand and identify your non negotiables. You are a brand, whether you do anything with it or not. You are a brand, you have a personal brand, and you are the CEO of you. And so, whether you establish your brand or somebody will establish your personal brand for you, and that's not what you want. So establish your brand, your non-negotiables, and be able to understand that you are more than your resume. Trishana, you dropped so many nuggets. This was awesome.
Thank you.
This was great, and I know that those people who work with you, your clients, and those laboratorian and women, I know that they are greatly impacted in a positive way by your work, your passion, and your expertise. So thank you so much for sharing with our viewers and listening audiences on the Leadership Tidbit Show.
Yeah, thanks again. It was great being here.
Awesome. Well, viewers, our time has come to a close. I know it goes by really, really fast. And so I wanted to bring another expert on so that you can get some practical tips that you can implement and use in your personal life, your career, and your business right away. I understand that everybody doesn't have a mentor at their fingertips, so use this platform as your mentor. So I once read in a book that your first mentor may be somebody that you don't even know. It may be somebody that you have just read about in a book, or it could be somebody that you have seen or heard here on the Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson show. So with that, my friends, make sure you connect with Trishana on LinkedIn. Make sure you share this broadcast out with anybody that could utilize it. And you can also go and leave a review, and we'll feature you on our social media platforms. So until next time, my friends, I hope you have an amazing, amazing week.